The rainforest in northeastern Australia does not announce its dangers with snarls or flashing teeth. It holds them quietly beneath a canopy so dense that sunlight falls in narrow shafts, turning humidity into something visible. The air carries the smell of leaf litter and fermenting fruit, and the ground feels padded, deceptively soft, layered with decomposing plant matter that has been building for centuries. In this filtered green light, movement is often slow and deliberate. A large, dark figure stands motionless between the buttress roots of a fig tree, head slightly tilted, eye reflecting a shard of brightness. The first impression is not threat. It is beauty. The southern cassowary stands nearly as tall as a person, yet it appears almost ornamental at first glance. Its plumage absorbs light into a deep, velvety black, contrasting with the startling cobalt and crimson skin of its neck. A helmet-like casque crowns its head, smooth and sculptural, lending it an air of prehistoric dignity rather than aggression. Its eye is large, forward-facing, alert, but not visibly hostile. In the stillness of the rainforest understory, it resembles a statue placed deliberately among the vines and saplings. For people unfamiliar with the ecological logic of this forest, that stillness reads as calm. It is a dangerous misinterpretation. Human perception evolved to read certain signals as safe. Rounded eyes, steady posture, bright coloration without bared teeth. These cues often register as curiosity or neutrality. The cassowary's anatomy exploits this bias inadvertently. It does not hiss or spread wings theatrically when unprovoked. It stands. It watches. It seems, from a distance, like an exotic photo opportunity misplaced in the wild. That assumption collapses under the weight of evolutionary design. This bird is not merely large. It is built with precision for force. The legs are thick, corded with muscle, anchored to a pelvis adapted for powerful forward thrusts. Each foot carries 3 toes, but the inner toe bears the defining feature, a dagger-like claw that can exceed 12 centimeters in length, sharply curved and honed by natural wear. Unlike the talons of raptors, which grasp and pierce from above, the cassowary's claw is engineered for slashing kicks delivered forward and downward. The motion is not chaotic. It is targeted. To understand why that kick exists, one must step back from the immediate human-animal encounter and look at the forest's architecture. This is a habitat of tight corridors and layered obstacles. Fallen logs, vine tangles, and dense shrubs create a 3-dimensional maze. Predators here must navigate around trunks and through narrow gaps. The cassowary, flightless and heavy, cannot rely on escape into the air. Its survival depends on explosive ground response. When threatened, it lowers its body, coils its legs, and launches. The kick is delivered with a leap that brings both feet forward, balancing on the thick tail feathers and using the body's weight as momentum. The claw becomes a blade guided by mass and muscle. The triggers for that response are not mysterious. They are predictable within the bird's behavioral ecology. Cassowaries are primarily frugivores, consuming fallen fruits from dozens of rainforest plant species. In doing so, they serve as critical seed dispersers, capable of transporting large seeds across long distances and depositing them intact in nutrient-rich droppings. Some rainforest trees depend almost exclusively on cassowaries to propagate. This makes the bird a keystone species in the ecosystem. But it also means it is constantly moving between fruiting trees, navigating territories structured by seasonal abundance. When humans interrupt those routes by blocking paths, feeding artificially, or cornering the bird for a photograph. They insert themselves into a system that has no tolerance for obstruction. Cornering is particularly dangerous. A cassowary's primary defense is avoidance. It prefers to slip through vegetation and vanish. The casque, often misunderstood as ornamental, may help it part foliage as it moves quickly through dense growth, protecting the skull from impact. If an individual is cut off from its escape route by a fence, a parked vehicle, or a group of people encircling it, the calculus changes. The bird shifts from flight to force. It does not bluff extensively. It commits. Approaching chicks compounds the risk. Male cassowaries are the primary caregivers. After the female lays her clutch, the male incubates the eggs and raises the striped brown chicks for months, guiding them to food sources and defending them against threats. The chicks' camouflage stripes blend into dappled forest light, making them nearly invisible against leaf litter. A person who notices only the striking adult and steps closer may unknowingly position themselves between father and offspring. In that moment, the cassowary is not a solitary frugivore. It is a guardian whose evolutionary success depends on the survival of the brood at its feet. The response can be immediate and unambiguous. Feeding is another human error layered onto this dynamic. When cassowaries are given food, especially in areas near roads or settlements, they begin associating people with predictable resources. This disrupts natural foraging patterns and compresses their tolerance distance. The bird that once retreated at the sight of a human may instead approach, expecting fruit or scraps. When that expectation is unmet, or when competition with other birds arises, tension escalates. What began as a gesture of curiosity becomes a behavioral trap. The cassowary has not grown tamer. It has recalibrated risk in a landscape altered by human habits. The weapon itself deserves sober attention, not sensationalism. Reports of injuries are rare relative to the number of encounters, but when they occur, they are severe. The claw can slice deeply into soft tissue, targeting the abdomen or thighs. The power of the legs allows the bird to knock a person off balance, and in a forest where footing is unstable, a fall can compound the injury. The kick is not a random flurry. Observations and reconstructions show a deliberate forward strike, often preceded by a leap that lifts the body's center of mass and directs momentum through the claws. The anatomy: thick tendons, elongated metatarsals, reinforced joints, supports this as a specialized defensive behavior. Yet focusing solely on the blade obscures the broader story. The cassowary is thermoregulating in humid heat, adjusting its activity to cooler parts of the day, seeking shade during peak temperatures. Its bare neck skin aids in heat exchange, radiating excess warmth in a climate where evaporative cooling through sweating is not an option. Its digestive tract is adapted to process large fruits quickly, allowing rapid movement between feeding sites. Its casque, once thought to be purely ornamental, may also function in acoustic resonance, amplifying the low-frequency booming calls that travel through dense forest to signal territory or attract mates. Every feature is an adaptation to a specific ecological pressure. The mistake humans make is interpreting these adaptations through a lens of aesthetics rather than function. Pretty becomes synonymous with harmless. Tall becomes synonymous with slow. Standing still becomes synonymous with passive. In reality, stillness in the rainforest is often calculation. The cassowary's apparent calm is energy conserved, senses engaged, muscles ready. Its eye tracks movement with precision. Its hearing detects disturbances filtered through foliage. Its posture is not relaxed, it is balanced. To treat such an animal as a photo prop is to misunderstand the contract of wild spaces. The rainforest does not accommodate human narratives of cuteness or spectacle. It operates on gradients of distance and respect. When those gradients are breached, when a person steps closer for a clearer shot, when they attempt to touch, to feed, to stand between a bird and its path, they are not simply risking injury. They are disrupting a finely tuned ecological role. The cassowary is not aggressive by default. It is reactive within defined parameters. Its violence, when it occurs, is not an expression of malice, but of boundary enforcement. The blade exists because this forest demands it. The leg muscles developed because flight was abandoned millions of years ago in favor of terrestrial power. The bright neck skin evolved for signaling in dim understory light. The casque rose from selective pressures that rewarded navigation and communication in a labyrinth of green. Standing in the humid stillness, one begins to see the bird differently. The statue becomes a sentinel. The beauty becomes a warning, coded in color and scale. The rainforest around it hums with insects, drips with condensation, shifts with unseen reptiles and mammals. This is a system where size does not guarantee dominance and where misreading an animal's posture can have immediate consequences. The lesson is not fear, but recalibration. Admiration must be paired with distance. Observation must be informed by ecology. A cassowary is not a character in a travel brochure. It is a keystone species carrying the future of trees in its gut and a blade on its foot. To approach it as decoration is to ignore millions of years of evolutionary negotiation between predator, prey, plant, and climate. In that negotiation, there is no clause for selfies. In the end, the bird remains where it stood, framed by roots and vines, eye reflecting the last shard of filtered light. It is neither villain nor victim. It is a walking blade shaped by a forest that rewards precision and punishes misunderstanding. The rainforest does not need it to be gentle. It needs it to be exactly what it is. Dawn in a eucalyptus woodland does not arrive with spectacle. It filters in gradually, sliding across pale trunks that peel in ribbons and collect at the base like discarded parchment. The air carries a sharp, medicinal scent released by crushed leaves and warming oil glands, a fragrance that defines this landscape as surely as the sound of magpies in the distance. High above the ground, wedged into the fork of a river red gum, a koala sits almost motionless, fur catching the early light in soft grey gradients. Its rounded ears and dark forward-facing eyes create a silhouette so gentle that it seems designed for comfort rather than survival. It resembles an emblem of stillness in a restless ecosystem. That resemblance has consequences. The koala's appearance triggers a cascade of human assumptions. Its proportions echo those of infants. Large head relative to body, small nose and mouth, plush fur, and a posture that often appears slumped in drowsy calm. These cues activate deeply rooted responses in the human brain that associate softness with safety. In the wild, however, such visual shorthand has no relevance. The koala is not passive, it is specialized. It is not tame, it is efficient within a narrow ecological niche that demands precision and endurance. Most injuries involving koalas do not occur because the animal seeks confrontation. They happen when people attempt to bridge a gap that evolution never intended to close. The desire to pick one up, to stroke its fur, to stage a photograph that mimics a stuffed toy, collides with a body engineered for gripping bark and processing toxic foliage. The resulting bite or scratch is not an attack in the predatory sense. It is resistance expressed through anatomy. The anatomy begins with the hands. Koalas possess two opposable digits on their forepaws, allowing them to form a powerful clamp around branches. Each finger ends in a curved, sharp claw designed to bite into eucalyptus bark. These claws are not ornamental. They anchor the animal's entire weight while it sleeps, climbs, and feeds. The hind feet, too, are equipped with a grooming claw and gripping structure that locks securely around trunks. When a person attempts to lift a koala from a branch, those claws do not release willingly. They dig deeper, instinctively seeking purchase. The grip that holds a tree can just as easily hold fabric or skin. The jaw tells a parallel story. Eucalyptus leaves are chemically defended by compounds that deter most herbivores. They are fibrous, low in protein, and laced with oils that can be toxic. To survive on this diet, koalas have evolved a specialized digestive system with an enlarged cecum that houses microbes capable of breaking down tough plant matter and neutralizing toxins. But digestion begins with force. The molars are ridged and robust, designed to shear leaves efficiently. The jaw muscles are strong relative to body size, enabling sustained chewing of resistant foliage. When that jaw clamps onto a forearm or hand in self-defense, it exerts pressure not unlike that required to crush woody leaves repeatedly throughout the day. The forest around the koala shapes its behavior as much as its anatomy does. Eucalyptus woodlands are patchy in productivity. Not all trees are equally nutritious, and the chemical composition of leaves varies with season, soil, and stress. Koalas must navigate this mosaic carefully, selecting specific individuals that meet their dietary needs. Their movement patterns are not random wanderings, but strategic shifts between preferred trees. During hotter months, they may choose trees with higher moisture content in leaves to supplement hydration, reducing the need to descend for water. In extreme heat, they press their bodies against cooler, lower trunks, transferring heat away through conduction in a behavior that reveals subtle thermoregulatory intelligence. From the ground, this stillness can appear tranquil. A koala that freezes when approached may be interpreted as calm or even compliant. In reality, freezing is often a stress response. Muscles tense, grip tightens, breathing rate changes, and the animal assesses escape routes. Vocalizations may follow. Low growls, sharp barks, or guttural sounds that seem disproportionate to the animal's size. These signals are warnings, but they are frequently ignored because they do not match the narrative of softness imposed upon the species. There is a critical distinction between calm and shutdown. A calm koala in its natural context is relaxed within a secure perch, body weight distributed comfortably, eyes half-lidded as it conserves energy. Energy conservation is essential because its diet provides limited caloric return. A stressed koala, by contrast, becomes rigid. The posture stiffens, ears may angle back, and the grip intensifies. The stillness is not rest, it is containment. When people misinterpret this as docility and proceed to touch or lift, they trigger the release of that contained tension. The claws extend. The jaw closes. Understanding this dynamic requires acknowledging that koalas are not social in the way many mammals are. Outside of breeding and maternal care, they are largely solitary. Physical contact is not a routine part of adult life. Forced cuddling imposes a sensory and spatial intrusion that the animal has no evolutionary framework to accept. The skin of a human is warmer and smoother than bark, lacking the textured feedback that claws expect. The scent is foreign, layered with detergents and unfamiliar chemicals. The auditory environment shifts as breathing and movement occur at close range. Each of these inputs compounds stress. In the broader ecosystem, koalas play a quieter but significant role. By browsing selectively, they influence the growth patterns of eucalyptus trees, potentially shaping canopy structure over time. Their droppings contribute nutrients back to the soil, and their presence supports predator species such as large owls, or, in some regions, dingoes. They are part of a web that balances herbivory and plant defense, mediated by chemical warfare invisible to the casual observer. When a koala descends to move between trees, it becomes briefly vulnerable, crossing open ground where predation risk increases. Its climb back to safety is powered by those same claws that humans sometimes underestimate. The misconception that koalas are inherently gentle obscures their capacity for defense. Their teeth are not exaggerated weapons, but they are sufficient. Their forelimbs, built for vertical stability, can rake and hold. Even a relatively small individual can inflict deep scratches if it feels trapped. Veterinary records and wildlife rescue reports consistently show that most human injuries occur during attempts to handle injured or distressed koalas without proper training and equipment. Gloves, restraint techniques, and an understanding of behavior are necessary safeguards precisely because the animal's design resists casual contact. There is irony in the fact that the very traits that make koalas icons of conservation campaigns, soft fur, round features, sleepy demeanor, are those that invite unsafe proximity. In captivity, under controlled conditions, trained handlers can manage interactions with minimal risk, but these environments are structured around the animal's limits. In the wild, no such structure exists. The tree is the koala's domain. The branch is its refuge. To remove it from that context is to destabilize its sense of security. As midday heat builds, the koala shifts slightly, repositioning to keep its body in shade. The eucalyptus leaves shimmer with volatile oils, releasing scent that deters many insects and herbivores. The koala's digestive microbes continue their slow work, extracting scant energy from chemically defended foliage. It appears inert, but its physiology is active, managing toxins, conserving calories, balancing hydration. This is not a plush ornament perched for admiration. It is a specialist surviving on a narrow margin. The lesson emerging from these trees is not that koalas are aggressive. It is that they are wild. Injuries attributed to attacks often reflect human miscalculation rather than animal intent. When distance is respected, conflict is rare. When handling is attempted without necessity or knowledge, the outcome is predictable. The claws grip. The jaw clamps. The illusion dissolves. To stand beneath a eucalyptus and look up at a koala is to witness an animal perfectly aligned with its environment. Its softness is insulation against cool nights. Its stillness is energy strategy. Its teeth and grip are tools forged by dietary constraint and arboreal life. Recognizing these realities replaces sentimentality with understanding. The koala does not need to be demoted from icon status. It needs to be seen accurately. In that clarity lies both safety and deeper respect. Late afternoon heat lingers over the open plains of inland Australia, pressing down on spinifex and saltbush until the air itself seems to shimmer. The horizon stretches unbroken, a low line where pale sky meets ochre earth. In the distance, a group of red kangaroos grazes with deliberate calm, heads lowered, ears pivoting independently to catch distant sounds carried across the flat expanse. At first glance, the scene feels almost pastoral. The animals move with a rhythm that appears unhurried, tails resting on the ground behind them like anchors. Their silhouettes are so familiar, so embedded in cultural imagery, that it is easy to forget they are among the most physically specialized large mammals on the continent. The popular image of kangaroos as playful boxers has shaped how people approach them. Viral videos and animated portrayals emphasize upright postures and four-limb sparring, reinforcing the idea that encounters are theatrical rather than consequential. Yet the upright stance is not a performance. It is a component of balance and threat assessment. When a large male stands tall, forearms flexed, chest exposed, he is not posing for spectacle. He is evaluating space, weight distribution, and potential escalation. Human proximity often begins with familiarity. In areas where kangaroos graze near towns or tourist routes, the animals become accustomed to vehicles and people at a distance. Some individuals are fed intentionally or inadvertently, reinforcing a reduced flight response. The phrase, "It's just a roo," reflects a subtle shift in perception from wild herbivore to roadside attraction. Cameras emerge, hands extend, dogs strain at leashes. Each element alters the behavioral equation. Dogs are particularly significant triggers. To a kangaroo, especially a large male, a dog may resemble a dingo, one of its primary natural predators. The presence of a dog compresses the distance at which the kangaroo feels secure. Instead of fleeing immediately, an energy-expensive option in hot conditions, the animal may choose to stand its ground. The tail plants firmly on the soil, forming a tripod with the hind legs. This tripod stance is foundational to kangaroo biomechanics. The tail is not decorative. It is a muscular counterbalance capable of supporting substantial body weight. In locomotion, it functions as a fifth limb, pushing against the ground during slow movement and stabilizing leaps. In combat, it anchors the body for forceful kicks. The real danger lies not in forelimb punching, but in the hind legs. The elongated feet end in sharp claws that can rake deeply. The musculature powering those legs evolved for explosive hopping across vast distances, conserving energy through elastic tendons that store and release kinetic force. The same spring-loaded design can be redirected into a kick delivered with startling speed. When grappling, a kangaroo may grasp an opponent with its forelimbs, lean back on its tail, and drive both hind legs forward in a coordinated strike. The claws, curved and hardened by abrasive terrain, can open flesh with efficiency. Water introduces another dimension to this defensive repertoire. In certain confrontations, particularly involving dogs, large males have been observed retreating deliberately into shallow water while maintaining eye contact with the approaching threat. To an uninformed observer, this might appear as retreat. In context, it can be strategic repositioning. In water, buoyancy alters balance. A dog entering after the kangaroo loses traction, its footing uncertain. The kangaroo, standing upright with powerful hindquarters submerged, gains leverage. Grasping the dog with forelimbs, it can attempt to hold the animal's head underwater. This behavior is not a myth fabricated for drama. It is a practical exploitation of environment to neutralize a predator. Such interactions reveal how deeply kangaroo behavior is tied to landscape. Open plains provide visibility but limited cover. Seasonal waterholes become focal points of activity, attracting not only kangaroos but also livestock, feral animals, and humans. During drought, these sites compress multiple species into tight proximity, heightening competition and tension. A male kangaroo defending access to water or territory may already be physiologically primed for dominance displays. When a person enters that arena casually, perhaps attempting to film at close range, they insert themselves into an active social hierarchy. Dominance among males involves ritualized combat that tests strength without necessarily leading to lethal outcomes. Forelimb grappling, pushing, and measured kicking establish rank. The upright stance, often misinterpreted as theatrical boxing, is in fact a balance-controlled assessment of an opponent's mass and resolve. The chest bears scars that testify to past contests. These encounters are shaped by evolutionary pressures where size and stamina influence reproductive success. When a human approaches with assertive posture, direct eye contact, squared shoulders, forward movement, the kangaroo may interpret this as a challenge within that same framework. Feeding further complicates the dynamic. Supplemental food can alter natural foraging patterns, encouraging kangaroos to linger near human activity. Red kangaroos are adapted to exploit sparse vegetation, their digestive systems extracting nutrients from tough grasses and shrubs. They conserve water efficiently, capable of surviving in arid environments where surface water is intermittent. Artificial feeding undermines this balance, drawing animals into concentrated areas and eroding natural wariness. The resulting habituation increases the likelihood of close encounters during times when males are hormonally heightened, particularly in breeding seasons. Thermoregulation adds nuance to their daily rhythms. In extreme heat, kangaroos may lick their forearms, allowing saliva to evaporate and cool the blood vessels close to the skin's surface. They rest during the hottest parts of the day and feed during cooler hours. Approaching a kangaroo at dusk, when it transitions from rest to activity, intersects with its peak alertness. The animal's large ears swivel independently, capturing low-frequency sounds across open terrain. Its vision is attuned to motion at a distance. A sudden approach narrows escape options and shifts the animal toward defensive readiness. Predator-prey interactions in this environment are complex. While adult red kangaroos have few natural predators besides dingoes, juveniles are vulnerable to wedge-tailed eagles and other carnivores. Vigilance is constant. The muscles that power long-distance hopping also enable rapid directional changes when startled. To assume that a grazing kangaroo is docile is to ignore the physiological tension maintained beneath that calm exterior. Human injuries often occur when this tension is misunderstood. A person attempting to hand feed may inadvertently corner a kangaroo against a fence or vehicle. A photographer seeking a dramatic close-up may step into a personal space boundary invisible to them but defined by the animal's comfort zone. The kangaroo's response escalates proportionally. It may hiss, paw the ground, or lean back onto its tail in preparation. At that moment, the distance between spectacle and danger narrows dramatically. Even the structure of the kangaroo's feet reflects evolutionary negotiation with terrain. The elongated fourth toe bears most of the weight during hopping, reinforced to withstand repeated impact on hard soil. The tendons in the hind limbs store elastic energy, reducing metabolic cost during sustained travel. These adaptations allow red kangaroos to traverse kilometers efficiently, a necessity in landscapes where resources are patchily distributed. To harness that same mechanical efficiency in a defensive kick requires minimal adjustment. The system is already primed for force. Standing at the edge of a billabong as twilight deepens, one can observe the shifting interplay of caution and dominance. A large male wades into shallow water, head high, chest glistening in fading light. Nearby, a dog pulls against its leash, drawn by movement. The kangaroo's posture changes subtly, tail braced, forelimbs slightly extended. The environment itself becomes a tool. Water muffles sound, refracts light, and destabilizes footing. In that reframed arena, the kangaroo is not a cartoon pugilist, but a strategist leveraging physics. The broader ecological role of kangaroos extends beyond confrontation. Their grazing influences plant community composition, shaping grassland dynamics. Their movement patterns contribute to seed dispersal. Their presence affects predator distributions and scavenger behavior. They are integral components of nutrient cycling in arid and semi-arid systems. Reducing them to roadside curiosities diminishes appreciation for this complexity. The lesson embedded in these encounters is not fear, but recalibration. Treating a kangaroo as a tourist attraction shifts the interaction from observation to provocation. In that shift, the animal reassesses you not as background noise, but as a potential rival or threat. Its response is rooted in biomechanics and social structure, not malice. As night settles over the plains, the silhouettes of kangaroos dissolve into shadow, movement becoming suggestion rather than shape. The air cools, insects rise, and the waterhole reflects a strip of stars. Within this landscape, balance is literal and metaphorical. The kangaroo stands upright, not to entertain, but to control its center of gravity and its environment. When that balance is respected, coexistence remains uneventful. When it is challenged, the outcome follows the logic of muscle, claw, and water, governed by evolutionary design rather than myth. Dusk in southern Australia does not fall abruptly. It thickens. The light drains from the eucalyptus woodland and low coastal heath in slow gradients, turning silver grasses into shadowed waves and granite outcrops into hulking silhouettes. The air cools quickly after the day's heat, and scents sharpen: dry soil, crushed herbs, the faint musk of burrow entrances that pockmark the ground like subtle doorways into another layer of the landscape. At first, nothing seems to move. Then the grass parts, and a shape emerges that looks almost misplaced against the horizon. Compact, rounded, dense, as if carved from the earth itself. The common wombat is often described in affectionate terms: stocky, plush, bear-like. Its small eyes and blunt muzzle create an impression of calm sturdiness. But as it steps fully into view, the illusion of softness gives way to a different understanding. The body is not round in the way of a toy. It is cylindrical and muscular, balanced low to the ground with a center of gravity designed for pushing rather than leaping. The shoulders roll with controlled force, forelimbs thick and angled outward, claws long and pale against dark soil. The wombat does not move delicately through its habitat. It moves with intent. In the fading light, The animal follows a path worn smooth between tussocks and shrubs. These routes are not random wanderings. They are established corridors linking feeding areas to burrow systems that may extend several meters underground. Wombats are primarily nocturnal or crepuscular, emerging when temperatures drop and predation risk shifts. Their eyes, though not adapted for sharp, long-distance vision, function well enough in low light to navigate familiar terrain. Their sense of smell is acute, guiding them toward preferred grasses and signaling the presence of other wombats through scent markings. The landscape to them is a map layered with memory and chemical cues. Problems arise when humans unknowingly step into that map. A wombat heading toward its burrow at night does not expect obstacles. Its survival strategy depends on predictable routes and the security of underground refuge. When a person stands in that line, perhaps unaware of the burrow entrance hidden in grass, the wombat's response is not to politely detour. It lowers its head and continues forward. The resulting collision surprises those who assumed the animal would yield. Momentum, however, favors mass and structure, not expectation. The wombat's anatomy explains this decisiveness. Its skull is thick and reinforced, shaped to withstand impact. The neck is short and powerful, supporting a head that can act as a battering ram when necessary. The forelimbs, evolved for digging extensive burrow systems, possess strong muscles anchored to a robust shoulder girdle. These limbs carve through compacted soil and clay, creating tunnels that can stretch dozens of meters and include multiple entrances. The same musculature that displaces earth can displace a human shin with unsettling ease. Burrows themselves are engineering feats adapted to Australia's variable climate. In regions prone to heat and drought, the underground chambers maintain more stable temperatures and humidity levels than the surface. This microclimate buffers wombats against thermal extremes, conserving water and energy. The entrances are often angled to reduce flooding and may be positioned to capture prevailing breezes for ventilation. By excavating and maintaining these structures, wombats inadvertently create habitat for other species, reptiles, small mammals, and invertebrates that use abandoned tunnels as shelter. The wombat's digging thus shapes the ecosystem in ways that extend beyond its own survival. Yet that burrow is also a fortress. When threatened by predators such as dingoes, a wombat will retreat underground, blocking the entrance with its hindquarters. The rear of the body is reinforced with thick skin and cartilage, forming a protective shield. If a predator attempts to reach inside, the wombat can crush it against the tunnel roof using sheer force. This defensive posture illustrates a broader theme. The wombat's power is concentrated low and backward as much as forward. It does not rely on speed to escape, it relies on structure to resist. Approaching a wombat at dusk often stems from misinterpretation. In the half-light, its silhouette appears almost whimsical, moving with a waddling gait that invites curiosity. People assume that because it is herbivorous and relatively small compared to kangaroos or emus, it poses little risk. Attempts to pet or photograph at close range overlook the animal's limited tolerance for intrusion. Unlike species habituated to frequent human presence, many wild wombats maintain a defined personal space. When that space is breached, especially near a burrow entrance, the response can escalate quickly from avoidance to assertion. The shove is not theatrical. It is direct. A wombat may lunge forward, using its head and shoulders to drive into the perceived obstacle. The low center of gravity amplifies stability. Its short legs reduce the likelihood of tipping during impact. In a collision between a person's knee and a wombat's skull, physics favors the animal. Falls, bruises, and in rare cases fractures can result, not because the wombat seeks harm, but because its evolutionary toolkit prioritizes unyielding progress toward shelter. Feeding behavior reveals additional layers of adaptation. Wombats graze primarily on grasses, cropping vegetation close to the ground with continuously growing incisors. Their digestive system ferments plant material in an elongated colon, extracting maximum nutrients from fibrous food. This process is slow and energy efficient, supporting a lifestyle that minimizes unnecessary exertion. Water conservation is critical in many parts of their range. Wombats produce some of the driest feces among mammals, an adaptation that reduces fluid loss. Their famously cube-shaped droppings, though often a source of amusement, may help prevent rolling on uneven surfaces, serving as territorial markers that remain where placed. Even this small detail reflects evolutionary refinement. The landscape at night hums with subtle interactions. Insects emerge, small marsupials dart between shrubs, and predators patrol silently. The wombat, head down, continues grazing, occasionally lifting its muzzle to test the air. Its ears rotate independently, detecting distant movement. Though not built for sprinting, it can reach surprising speeds over short distances if startled. The body that appears plush is dense with muscle and bone, capable of abrupt acceleration when necessary. Encounters that lead to human injury often involve underestimating this density. A person stepping backward in surprise may trip over uneven ground. Another may attempt to block the wombat's path to prevent it from crossing a road or entering private property, not realizing that the animal's instinct is to proceed regardless. In each case, the mismatch lies in expectations. The wombat does not interpret a human body as an insurmountable barrier. It interprets it as an obstacle in a pre-existing route. Thermoregulation further shapes activity patterns. During hot days, wombats remain in their burrows, emerging when temperatures moderate. This nocturnal schedule reduces water loss and exposure to heat stress. Standing near a burrow entrance during twilight, when the animal is primed to move, increases the likelihood of sudden proximity. The wombat's visual acuity may not distinguish fine details in dim light, making it less responsive to subtle human gestures signaling space. Its primary objective is shelter. Anything between it and that goal is incidental. There is an understated resilience in the wombat's design. Its thick fur insulates against cold nights, while sparse sweat glands necessitate behavioral adaptations to manage heat. Its powerful jaws grind coarse grasses that many other herbivores bypass. Its digging aerates soil, influencing plant growth and water infiltration. The animal's role in ecosystem engineering is as tangible as its physical solidity. To describe a wombat as a plush tank is not hyperbole, but metaphor rooted in biomechanics. It is armored not with scales, but with bone density and mass distribution. It does not need horns or antlers. Its head and shoulders suffice. It does not need to chase. It needs only to persist in a straight line toward safety. When humans intersect that line, misunderstanding turns to impact. The lesson embedded in these twilight movements is one of recalibrated perception. Cuteness is a human projection layered over functional anatomy. The wombat's rounded shape does not signal gentleness. It signals compact power. Its slow gait does not imply weakness. It reflects energy conservation aligned with a low-calorie diet. Its apparent indifference is focus on terrain and burrow rather than social engagement. As darkness deepens, the wombat disappears into its tunnel, leaving behind a quiet surface marked only by the faint depression of its path. The earth above settles. The burrow below stabilizes temperature and scent, a refuge carved by persistent labor. In this ecosystem, momentum is not about speed, but about inevitability. The wombat embodies that inevitability, moving through its world with a solidity that rewards respect and punishes underestimation. Morning in suburban Australia carries a soundtrack that is both melodic and territorial. The fluting call of the Australian magpie rises before traffic thickens, echoing across schoolyards, parklands, and open paddocks. It is a liquid, complex song, woven from whistles and warbles that seem more orchestral than avian. Beneath that music lies a map, an invisible grid of boundaries drawn not on the ground, but in air. To stand beneath a eucalypt during breeding season is to enter that grid, whether aware of it or not. The magpie is often described casually as just a bird, a familiar presence on lawns and sports fields, striding with deliberate steps as it probes soil for insects. Its black and white plumage appears formal and unthreatening, its posture upright and confident rather than furtive. In non-breeding months, it tolerates human proximity with remarkable composure, sharing urban spaces with an ease that suggests domestication. That perception dissolves abruptly when spring shifts into nesting season and airspace becomes contested. Swooping is not random aggression. It is targeted enforcement. During breeding season, male magpies in particular establish protective zones around nests, which are often positioned high in trees overlooking open ground. These nests may cradle eggs or fledglings whose vulnerability defines the urgency of defense. Unlike species that rely on camouflage alone, magpies adopt active deterrence. They launch from perches with rapid wing beats, gaining speed before angling downward toward a perceived intruder's head. The precision is striking. Studies and observational reports consistently show that magpies aim for the back of the head or near the eyes. The targeting is not incidental. It reflects an understanding of vulnerability. Eyes are critical sensory organs. A threat deterred by startling proximity to the face is less likely to persist. The bird's beak, though not venomous or designed for tearing large prey, can inflict punctures or lacerations when delivered at speed. Even without contact, the sudden rush of air and shadow triggers instinctive flinching in the human target. The trigger zone forms around nest trees and fledgling territories. These zones are not static circles, but dynamic volumes shaped by tree height, canopy structure, and the routes commonly used by people. In parks where cycling paths pass beneath favored nesting branches, magpies quickly identify patterns. They observe repeated passes, morning joggers, afternoon cyclists, children walking to school. Through associative learning, they distinguish individuals by clothing, movement style, and timing. Research has demonstrated that magpies can remember human faces for extended periods, adjusting their response based on prior encounters. Bicycles present a unique stimulus. The speed and upright posture of a cyclist resemble a fast-moving intruder that does not pause to signal non-threat. The magpie, perched above, calculates trajectory and launch angle within fractions of a second. Panic movement by the human target, ducking sharply, swerving unpredictably, can increase the chance of contact. Sudden shifts in speed create new angles for the bird to exploit. What appears to the cyclist as defensive maneuvering may appear to the magpie as erratic threat persistence. Fledglings introduce additional complexity. Once young birds leave the nest but remain flight-limited, they occupy ground or low branches, calling persistently for food. Their presence lowers the threshold for defensive action. An adult magpie observing a human approach toward a fledgling may interpret even casual proximity as predation risk. The swoop, in this context, is not symbolic. It is a calculated effort to redirect or repel. The bird's brain integrates visual cues, distance, speed, orientation, into a rapid decision to dive. The biomechanics of the swoop reveal evolutionary fine-tuning. Magpies possess broad wings that enable agile maneuvering rather than sustained high-speed flight. The initial dive converts gravitational potential into kinetic energy, allowing the bird to accelerate quickly. At the last moment, a slight twist of the wings adjusts angle, ensuring a near miss or contact depending on escalation level. Many swoops are warning passes, close enough to graze hair without striking skin. Repeated intrusions can escalate to firmer contact, including pecks or scratches. The urban environment amplifies these interactions. Open lawns mimic the short grass habitats where magpies traditionally forage, supporting abundant invertebrate prey. Trees planted along streets provide elevated nesting sites with clear lines of sight. Human routines create predictable corridors beneath these trees. The magpie's intelligence, often underappreciated, thrives in such structured landscapes. It learns schedules, recognizes frequent passers-by, and differentiates between individuals who pose no threat and those who have approached nests previously. Panic plays a crucial role in escalation. When a person reacts dramatically, waving arms, shouting, running, the movement confirms the magpie's assessment of disturbance. Repetition compounds this feedback loop. A cyclist who rides the same path daily at the same hour becomes a fixed point in the bird's cognitive map. The magpie anticipates arrival, positions itself strategically, and launches with refined timing. Over days or weeks, the swoop can become more accurate as the bird adjusts for speed and height. Predator-prey dynamics in natural landscapes inform this behavior. In open woodland, threats to nests may include raptors, snakes, or arboreal mammals. A swift, precise aerial strike can deter a climbing predator or distract a snake long enough to draw it away from a nest. The targeting of the head exploits a universal vulnerability among vertebrates. In urban contexts, humans inadvertently step into that predator role within the magpie's perceptual framework. Thermoregulation and seasonal cycles influence the timing of aggression. Breeding coincides with warmer months when food availability supports chick rearing. The hormonal changes associated with breeding heighten vigilance and territoriality in males. Outside this window, the same bird may return to tolerant coexistence, sharing picnic grounds without incident. This seasonal shift underscores that swooping is context-dependent, not a permanent temperament. There is subtle irony in the fact that magpies, admired for their melodic songs and adaptability, become briefly notorious each spring. Warning signs appear on trees, helmets are adorned with cable ties to deter attacks, and detours are mapped through parks. These responses reveal an uneasy negotiation between human infrastructure and avian territory. The magpie does not require venom to assert dominance. It leverages airspace and predictability. Ecologically, magpies contribute significantly to insect control, consuming beetles, larvae, and other invertebrates that might otherwise proliferate. Their foraging behavior aerates soil and redistributes nutrients. Social structures within magpie groups can include cooperative breeding, where non-breeding individuals assist in raising young. This social complexity suggests cognitive capacities aligned with learning and memory, traits that enhance their effectiveness in defending nests. Standing beneath a nest tree during a quiet interval reveals a layered tableau. The nest, woven of twigs and lined with softer material, cradles life suspended above ground. The adult perches nearby, posture alert but composed. A cyclist approaches in the distance, tires humming faintly. The bird's head tilts, eyes tracking movement. In that moment, a decision forms, not driven by malice, but by calculus: distance to nest, speed of intruder, presence of fledglings below. The swoop that follows is a line drawn in air, a demonstration of control over vertical territory. It lasts seconds, yet leaves a lasting impression. The human instinct is to categorize the bird as aggressive, but aggression here is a strategy of survival. It is targeted, efficient, and temporally bounded. The closing realization is less about fear than about habit. Cute animals do not require venom or size to defend themselves. They exploit patterns, our commuting routes, our repeated passes beneath certain trees, our predictable reactions to sudden movement. The magpie weaponizes familiarity. In doing so, it reminds us that even in shared urban spaces, airspace belongs to those who have invested in it season after season. As summer matures and fledglings gain flight strength, the swoops subside. The fluting song resumes its unthreatened cadence across parks and paddocks. Yet for those who have felt the rush of wings close to their scalp, the memory lingers. It is a lesson delivered not through toxin or tooth, but through precision and timing, written briefly in the geometry of air. At first light, an Australian river appears almost motionless. Mist hangs low over the surface, diffusing the sunrise into pale silver. River red gums lean toward the water, their roots gripping eroded banks where soil gives way to clay. Beneath that surface, however, the current never stops. It slides around submerged logs, curls through reeds, and carries with it the faint electrical signatures of life. Muscle contractions, insect movement, the flicker of tiny crustaceans along the bottom. In this layered environment, something small breaks the surface briefly, leaving only a widening ring of ripples before disappearing again. The platypus surfaces without drama. A smooth back arches, a bill glistens, and then it slips under once more. From the bank, it resembles a stitched-together curiosity: beaver tail, duck bill, otter-like body. Its size and silhouette invite underestimation. It appears almost playful in its movements, rolling gently as it dives. For generations, this combination of features has inspired wonder and, occasionally, skepticism. Yet, beneath that soft outline lies one of the most unusual defensive systems among mammals. The platypus is primarily nocturnal or crepuscular, emerging during low light to forage. Its eyes and ears close tightly when it dives, sealing against water and leaving it effectively blind and deaf underwater. Instead, it relies on electroreception and mechanoreception embedded within its bill. Specialized receptors detect the faint electrical impulses generated by the muscle contractions of invertebrates buried in mud. Each sweep of the head across the riverbed maps invisible currents of life, translating subtle signals into precise strikes. This sensory adaptation allows the platypus to feed efficiently in turbid water where vision would be useless. Along quiet banks, burrow entrances open just above water level, often hidden beneath roots or overhanging vegetation. These tunnels may extend several meters into the earth, ending in nesting chambers lined with damp vegetation. The burrow is both refuge and nursery, maintaining stable humidity and temperature. Platypuses are semi-aquatic, but depend on these terrestrial retreats for rest and reproduction. When foraging, individuals are intercepted near these entrances, especially during breeding season, the potential for defensive escalation increases. Many human encounters begin with misinterpretation. A platypus hauled accidentally into a net, stranded briefly on a muddy bank, or encountered at close range may appear disoriented. Its small size and apparent awkwardness on land trigger a reflex to help. People attempt to pick it up, grasping by the tail or body to rescue it from perceived distress. The intention is often benign. The outcome can be anything but. Male platypuses possess a venomous spur on each hind limb, connected to a crural gland that enlarges during the breeding season. The spur is not a tooth and not a bite. It is a hollow, keratinized structure capable of delivering venom through a puncture wound when driven into flesh. During the breeding season, the glands produce a complex cocktail of peptides that cause intense pain in other males during territorial disputes. In human cases, envenomation does not typically threaten life, but the pain is often described as excruciating and resistant to standard analgesics. The mechanics of spur delivery are precise. When restrained or cornered, the platypus can rotate its hind leg outward with surprising flexibility. The spur, normally lying close against the ankle, is erected and driven into the target with a forceful kick. The injection is not incidental contact. It is a deliberate defensive act triggered by perceived capture. The animal's small size masks the speed and coordination of this movement. In water, it is agile and fluid. On land, even in apparent clumsiness, it retains the capacity to pivot sharply. Riverbanks are narrow margins between elements. Soft mud records footprints, wallabies, herons, foxes. The platypus emerges here to groom, rest briefly, or shift between pools. If its route to water is blocked, its options compress. Unlike larger mammals that may bluff or vocalize extensively, the platypus tends toward direct resolution. When escape to water is unavailable, the hind legs become tools of last resort. The shock of envenomation lies partly in contradiction. The animal that moments before seemed harmless delivers a pain response disproportionate to its size. Reports from those stung often describe swelling that immobilizes a limb, throbbing that radiates beyond the puncture site, and sensitivity that can persist for weeks. The venom's peptides interact with pain receptors in ways not fully mirrored by other mammalian toxins, producing hyperalgesia that resists morphine. This is not a predator's venom designed to subdue prey. It is a weapon evolved for male-male competition, repurposed in defense. Understanding this system requires stepping back into evolutionary history. The platypus is a monotreme, one of the few egg-laying mammals representing an ancient branch of mammalian evolution. Its mixture of traits is not a random assembly, but a lineage-specific solution to ecological pressures. The venomous spur likely evolved as a competitive tool among males, vying for access to females in river systems where territories overlap. In the confined space of a burrow entrance or shallow pool, a sharp, painful deterrent offers significant advantage without necessitating lethal combat. Predation pressure also shapes behavior. In water, platypuses must avoid large fish, snakes, and introduced predators. On land, foxes and dogs pose threats. The swift return to water upon disturbance reflects a survival strategy that prioritizes aquatic escape. When humans intervene by blocking that escape, they override the platypus's preferred response pathway. The spur becomes the fallback. Thermoregulation adds another layer to its daily rhythm. Platypuses maintain a body temperature lower than most mammals, around 32 degrees Celsius, an adaptation aligned with aquatic life. Prolonged exposure to cold water requires careful energy management. Foraging bouts are interspersed with grooming sessions that maintain fur insulation by trapping air close to the skin. Disturbance during these cycles can increase metabolic stress, particularly in colder months. A struggling platypus on a bank may not be helpless. It may be calculating the shortest path back to insulating water. The river itself participates in these encounters. Seasonal rains swell currents, erode banks, and reshape burrow entrances. During high water, platypuses may be displaced temporarily, increasing the chance of human observation. The muddy water hides their approach until they surface within meters of an observer. The instinct to reach out, to touch, to steady, to lift, often arises from surprise rather than deliberation. In that compressed moment, the platypus's defensive calculus operates faster than human reconsideration. Ecologically, platypuses regulate populations of aquatic invertebrates, consuming insect larvae, shrimp, and worms. Their foraging disturbs sediment, influencing nutrient cycling and oxygenation in microhabitats along the riverbed. They are indicators of water quality, sensitive to pollution and habitat degradation. The health of their presence reflects the health of the river. To treat them as curiosities rather than integral components of freshwater ecosystems undermines the subtlety of their role. As morning advances, the mist lifts, revealing clearer reflections on the water's surface. A platypus surfaces again, cheeks bulging with collected prey stored in cheek pouches, before returning to the bank to grind food between keratinized pads in its mouth. Its movements are efficient, purposeful. There is no theatricality in its behavior. The spur lies flat against its hind leg, invisible unless sought. The river resumes its quiet cadence. The lesson drawn from these banks is not that platypuses are aggressive. It is that rescue instincts must be tempered by ecological awareness. Wild animals require exit routes more than assistance. Cornering a platypus removes its preferred defense, retreat to water, and substitutes a scenario in which pain becomes its only leverage. Respecting distance restores balance to the interaction. In the end, the platypus vanishes beneath the surface once more, leaving only the suggestion of movement in widening ripples. The river continues to carry light and shadow downstream. Beneath that surface swims an animal whose gentleness is contextual, whose strangeness is functional, and whose hidden weapon serves as a reminder that softness and venom can coexist within the same evolutionary design.